These bed bugs down here, and I'll just run my finger along there to irritate them a little bit.
What if I told you that the glittering strip hides more secrets than it reveals? Behind the flashing slot machines, the all-night buffets, and the million-dollar shows, there's a darker, quieter world that hotel and casino employees are trained never to share. From hidden tragedies swept under the carpet, to clever psychological tricks designed to squeeze every last dollar out of your wallet, Vegas isn't just about luck, it's about control. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on Sin City's most guarded secrets. Stick around until the end. You'll never look at a Las Vegas resort the same way again. Number 9. The deaths no one talks about. If you've spent time in Las Vegas, you've probably noticed how spotless the casino floors always seem. No matter the hour, the carpets are vacuumed, the drinks are cleared, and security seems to appear out of nowhere. But what you'll never see, or hear about on the evening news, are the tragic deaths that happen on casino property. Employees know it, but they can't talk about it. Suicides and overdoses are not rare in Las Vegas hotels. Whether it's someone who lost their entire savings at the roulette table, or a guest who mixed too many substances during a weekend of excess, these incidents do happen. Yet they're almost never reported by local media. Why? Because negative headlines threaten the entire Vegas brand. The city survives on tourism, and casinos would rather absorb the cost of silence than risk scaring away future visitors. Frontline staff are trained to handle these situations discreetly. Security teams coordinate with local authorities quietly, often whisking guests away from an area before they even realize what's happening. Housekeeping might suddenly close an elevator bank or redirect foot traffic, while surveillance cameras are carefully monitored to ensure no viral footage leaks out. Even paramedics are instructed to move quickly and quietly. For employees, it's a grim reminder that beneath the neon and glamour lies enormous pressure. Gamblers can lose life-changing sums in a single night. Visitors who come for an escape sometimes find themselves at the breaking point. Yet for the casino, the priority is maintaining an illusion. The Strip must always look like a playground where nothing bad ever happens. And here's the chilling part. Because the public rarely hears about these tragedies, most people assume they don't exist. But ask around privately with longtime staff, and you'll find out that the reality is far darker than the advertisements suggest. And if you think that's unsettling, wait until you hear what casinos won't tell you about your winnings. It could change the way you cash in your chips forever. Number 8. The chip cash-out secret they don't want you to know. Picture this. You've just had the night of your life. Maybe it's roulette, maybe it's craps. Either way, the chips keep stacking in front of you. After hours of pure adrenaline, you walk to the cashier's cage with a fat pile of winnings. But here's the twist. How much you cash out at once could quietly determine whether the casino lets you walk away freely or starts watching you like a hawk. Most tourists have no idea that casinos impose hidden thresholds on chip redemptions. Employees will never post a sign or openly admit the number, but once your winnings hit a certain amount, the cage clerk is required to ask for government-issued photo ID. $10,000 is the commonly whispered figure, but in reality it can vary by property. Why the secrecy? It's all about security and control. Casinos know the cashier's cage is their most vulnerable spot. Millions flow in and out daily, and it's the first place a would-be robber, money launderer, or fraudster might target. By keeping the exact limit vague, casinos prevent criminals from planning around the rules. But here's where it affects regular players. High rollers often split their winnings among friends to avoid the hassle. Handing each buddy $2,000 worth of chips lets them cash out without raising alarms, a workaround that many employees see but can't acknowledge. For average guests, this system creates a psychological hurdle. Imagine hitting a big win but being asked for ID at the cage. Some players, especially those who want to stay anonymous, choose to gamble the winnings back instead of cashing out. And for the casino, that's exactly the outcome they're hoping for. Employees aren't lying when they smile and slide your money across the counter, but what they don't tell you is that behind that polished glass, there are strict reporting rules, federal compliance forms, and surveillance teams tracking every move. The casino doesn't want you to worry about those details. It wants you to keep chasing the thrill. And if you think ID checks are sneaky, wait until you see how far hotels will go to hide a problem that could follow you home in your suitcase. Number 7. The bed bug problem no employee will admit. Imagine unlocking the door to your Vegas suite, tossing your luggage on the bed, and heading straight for the Strip. What you don't realize is that some of the smallest, most unwelcome guests in the city might already be crawling in that mattress, and you'll never hear a word about it from the staff. Yes, bed bugs. They're the ultimate nightmare for hotels. Impossible to fully exterminate overnight, expensive to treat, and devastating for reputation. That's why Las Vegas employees are trained never to confirm an infestation. If you ask a housekeeper point blank, they'll dance around the truth. If you get a call from the front desk saying, "Mr. Smith, we've had a possible pest issue in the room next to yours. Would you mind relocating so we can launder your clothes for you?" That's your clue. Possible pest problem is the corporate phrase for bed bugs, but you'll never hear those words out loud. Why the secrecy? Because one viral post about bugs in a Vegas hotel could tank bookings instantly. Management prefers quiet damage control, discreet relocations, complimentary dry cleaning, and a smile that pretends it's all just routine maintenance. For the guest, it feels like five-star service. In reality, it's crisis containment. The consequences can be brutal. Tourists have unknowingly taken these hitchhikers home in their luggage, leading to thousands in extermination costs. Locals who work in the industry whisper stories of entire hotel floors being cycled through deep clean rotations, while paying guests are shuffled around without ever knowing why. And of course, no official record is kept for the public, because admitting the truth could spark lawsuits, refunds, and a PR disaster. For employees, silence is part of the job. They know that revealing the real reason for your sudden upgrade could cost them their position. For management, the gamble is simple. As long as the illusion of a pristine luxury stay remains intact, most visitors will never question it. And here's the kicker. If hotels will go this far to hide tiny insects, what else might they be keeping from you? The answer lies in your bill, where a charge you never agreed to could already be waiting. Number 6. The auto gratuity that doesn't always reach the worker. When you check out of a Las Vegas hotel, you probably glance at your bill and notice a long list of charges. Resort fees, parking, taxes. But tucked among them, you might see something else. An auto gratuity for housekeeping. It looks small, maybe just a couple of dollars a day. You assume it's a convenient way to tip the people who cleaned your room. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Employees can't tell you how much of that money, if any, actually ends up in their pockets. Take the Sahara Hotel and Casino, for example. Their website has stated since at least 2021 that a $1.99 daily housekeeping gratuity is automatically added to every room unless you opt out. Sounds harmless, right? Yet when guests started asking how much of that fee went directly to housekeepers, frontline employees had no answers. Why? Because that decision is made by management, and staff are instructed not to speculate. Even if they suspect the money is pooled or withheld, they're not allowed to say so. For travelers, this creates a false sense of generosity. You think you've taken care of your housekeeper, when in reality, they may never see those dollars. Veteran Vegas visitors often bypass the system entirely, leaving cash directly in the room instead. Employees quietly admit that's the only way to ensure the person scrubbing your bathroom and making your bed actually benefits. The bigger issue is transparency. Unlike restaurant bills, where a service charge is clearly defined, hotel auto gratuities are deliberately vague. They blur the line between tip and fee, padding the bill while making guests feel like they've done the right thing. And because few tourists take the time to read the fine print or ask questions at check-in, the system goes largely unchallenged. For staff, it's a catch-22. They appreciate guests who care enough to tip, but they also know management would rather keep the flow of auto gratuity dollars under wraps. Speaking up could mean disciplinary action. And if you think this practice feels sneaky, wait until you see what happens when you step into the nightlife scene. Even the cups at the bar are designed to trick you. Number 5. The nightclub cup trick that changes how much you drink. At first glance, two cocktail cups sitting side by side in a Vegas nightclub look identical. Same height, same glossy finish, same neon glow under the black lights. But hold them closely and you'll notice something subtle. One cup is slightly skinnier than the other. That tiny difference? It's no accident. It's a carefully engineered illusion designed to control how much alcohol you actually get. Here's how it works. If you're a general admission guest, maybe you just paid the cover to get inside, you'll receive the slimmer cup when you order a drink at the bar. That slimmer design means less liquid volume, which means less alcohol per pour. The drink still looks full, but you're paying the same price for less product. Multiply that across hundreds of customers each night, and the savings for the club are enormous. But step into the world of bottle service and everything changes. Suddenly, you're handed the larger cup. Why? Because the club actually wants your table's expensive bottles to run out faster. With bigger cups, guests pour heavier, share more, and empty bottles sooner, creating the perfect opportunity for a server to swoop in with a smile and ask if you'd like to order another $600 bottle. It gets even sneakier when groups of women are invited to join a table. A group of 4 guys might think their bottle will last the night, until 4 women with oversized cups join in. Suddenly, that bottle evaporates, and the high-energy, dimly lit atmosphere makes it easy to order another without thinking twice. Employees know this trick well, but they'll never mention it. To them, it's simply part of the business model. To the club, it's a genius psychological play. Make drinks look generous, make bottles disappear quickly, and keep the cash flowing. And for guests, most never realize the difference until the night is over and their bank account tells a different story. But drinks aren't the only place you're nudged to spend more. Sometimes it's not even about what you buy, it's about what you're told to tip. Number 4. The tipping pressure game no one admits. Vegas runs on tips. From valet to bartenders, from cocktail servers to nightclub hosts, gratuities are the lifeblood of hospitality workers. But here's the secret employees will never tell you. While management insists tipping is voluntary, there are plenty of ways staff subtly push you into paying more than you planned. For starters, outright suggesting a tip amount is technically frowned upon. Yet it still happens. One tourist recalled dropping his car off at a strip valet, only to be told with a smile, "This is complimentary, but most people do tip." He was planning to tip anyway, but suddenly felt pressured as though it was mandatory. That uncomfortable moment is exactly why casinos discourage employees from doing it. But with wages low and tips making up the difference, some staff can't resist the nudge. In nightclubs, the pressure game takes on an even more theatrical form. Picture this. You've bought the cheapest bottle service booth in the back. On the way there, the host deliberately walks you past the prime tables near the stage, flaunting the higher status spots. By the time you reach your seat, you're already asking, "How do we get closer?" The answer, of course, is tipping. The host plays coy, then encourages you to make an offer. Before long, you're haggling like you're at an auction, negotiating your way to a better booth through escalating bribes. Here's the kicker. Both sides walk away feeling satisfied. You got a better table for less than the official price. The host pocketed hundreds in cash. Management looks the other way because, ultimately, you spent more than you would have. Everyone wins, except your wallet. What most visitors don't realize is that this dance is built into the culture. Employees are masters of implication. A pause, a smile, a phrase like, "Vegas takes care of those who take care of us." None of it's technically required, but it leaves you feeling that tipping isn't optional. It's the entry ticket to a smoother experience. And if you think tipping games are subtle, just wait. On the casino floor, there's a rule dealers follow that can change the way you gamble. One they'll never explain, unless you ask the right question. Number 3. The dealer's secret script at the tables. When you sit down at a blackjack or poker table in Las Vegas, you might feel like you're chatting with a friendly insider. The dealer smiles, makes small talk, and maybe even gives you a wink. But here's the truth. Every word that comes out of their mouth is governed by strict policies, and there are things they will never tell you. Let's start with strategy. Dealers are not allowed to give personal advice. You can't ask, "What would you do if this were your hand?" and expect a candid answer. What they can tell you is what basic strategy dictates, essentially the mathematical play. For example, if you're unsure whether to hit on 16 against a dealer's 10, the dealer can say, "Basic strategy recommends hitting." But they can't lean in and whisper, "Trust me, I'd stand." Why? Because the casino doesn't want its employees blamed for your losses or accused of favoring one player over another. Then there's privacy. Dealers are forbidden from disclosing who's played at their tables, even if it's a celebrity. While rumors circulate days later, while a star is still in town, employees act like they've seen nothing. The same goes for whether a player won or lost, details that could make or break reputations. Even personal identities are off limits. Dealers don't share their last names, work schedules, or days off. It's about security, protecting employees from harassment, and protecting casinos from players trying to build connections they can later exploit. But here's the fascinating part. Dealers actually want you to win. Unlike in the movies, they don't pocket a bonus when you bust. Their income rises when you tip, and players tip more when they're winning. That's why many dealers secretly root for the table, even if their neutral expression doesn't show it. So next time you're at the felt, remember, the dealer is balancing friendliness with a corporate script. If you don't ask the right way, you'll never know how much information they're holding back. And if secrecy at the tables feels strict, wait until you find out what happens when celebrities check in. Entire hotel wings are restructured around keeping you in the dark. Number 2. The Celebrity and High Roller Disappearing Act. If you've ever wondered whether you might bump into your favorite singer or actor on the Strip, the answer is probably not. That's because Las Vegas hotels and casinos are experts at making celebrities and high rollers invisible to the public, and employees are sworn to silence about it. The moment a big-name guest checks in, a whole machine kicks into gear. Private entrances, hidden hallways, and service elevators whisk them straight to their suites without ever touching the lobby. Entire hotel wings can be sealed off with just a few keystrokes, reassigning staff and redirecting regular guests under vague excuses like maintenance upgrades. Employees are trained never to confirm a celebrity's presence, even if you ask point blank. The official line is always, "I'm not sure who you're referring to." Why the cloak and dagger treatment? It's all about security and image. A-list stars don't want mobs of fans outside their door. High rollers, those who gamble with credit lines starting at $300,000 and stretching well into the millions, don't want their business splashed across social media. Protecting their privacy keeps them coming back. Behind closed doors, it gets even more surreal. Many casinos operate private gaming salons, rooms the average tourist will never see. Inside, the decor shifts from bright neon to hushed luxury. Silk wallpaper, private bars, personal attendants. At the baccarat tables, single hands can be worth more than your mortgage. And when these players lose, the staff won't breathe a word. Publicly admitting a billionaire dropped millions in one night would damage relationships, and casinos protect whales like national treasures. For employees, the stakes are high. Slip up and reveal a celebrity sighting, and you risk your job. Gossiping about a high roller's losses? Grounds for termination. The city's motto might as well be, "What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas," especially if it involves the rich and famous. And if you think that's the end of the secrets, think again. Because while celebrities are hidden behind locked doors, hackers are constantly trying to break in through the back door. And casinos will never tell you how often they succeed. Number 1. The cyber attacks they'll never admit. When you think of Las Vegas casinos, you picture vault-like security, cameras on every corner, guards on every floor, chips tracked with RFID, and dealers trained like soldiers. But here's the truth employees will never tell you. Some of the Strip's biggest vulnerabilities aren't on the casino floor at all. They're online. Casinos are prime targets for hackers. These resorts hold massive databases full of guest information. Credit cards, driver's licenses, even social security numbers for loyalty program members and high rollers. To a hacker, that data is worth more than any jackpot. And yet, when breaches happen, the public almost never hears about them. Why? Because casinos are terrified of losing trust. If visitors thought their identity might be stolen along with their chips, entire resorts could empty overnight. The few times the truth has leaked are shocking. In 2014, the Venetian was hacked, exposing its internal systems. In 2022, Rancho Mesquite and the Brook casinos were compromised. And in one jaw-dropping case, an unnamed Las Vegas casino had its high roller database breached through a Wi-Fi-connected fish tank. Yes, hackers literally swam into the system through an aquarium thermostat. Employees are trained to say nothing. Even if the slot machines suddenly freeze or your player's card stops working, the official explanation will always be technical difficulties. Behind the scenes, IT teams scramble to contain the breach, while executives pray the news never reaches the headlines. The real danger isn't just data theft. Hackers have been known to extort casinos, demanding payment to release stolen information, or worse, threatening to cripple entire systems during high-profile weekends like New Year's Eve or Super Bowl events. Imagine the chaos if ATMs, slots, and credit systems all went down at once. For guests, the silence is the scariest part. You'll never get a phone call saying, "Hey, your info was compromised last weekend at the Mirage." Instead, casinos quietly patch holes and move on, counting on the fact that most visitors will never notice. So the next time you swipe your card in Sin City, remember, the real gamble might not be on the roulette wheel, but in the servers humming quietly behind the scenes. And there you have it, the secrets Vegas employees will never tell you. From hidden tragedies to cyber heists, the Strip thrives on illusion. My advice? Enjoy the city, but keep your eyes open. Have you ever spotted one of these tricks? Drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more reveals.